So the pro shares, folks, ringing the bell, ding-a-ling, button wall. Interesting day today. The pro shares, folks, they do a lot of these ETFs, exchange-traded funds. They aggregate different types of vehicles, investment vehicles, kind of high-level finance, so to speak. Dow down about 250. That's a big improvement. It was almost 600 lower earlier in the day. Right around midday, it was more than 550 lower on the day. Nasdaq didn't fare well either, 175 lower. I will tell you, gold made a record high today. Record high in the gold price right there. That's a brand new high, off to the races. We've been telling you about this since I started. I've been telling you about this since 2007 when I first started at Fox News. Pulled out an ounce of gold and I said, never sell this stuff, Steve Ducey. Never sell this stuff, Steve Ducey. It was a gold coin. It was about $580 an ounce that day. I've never sold anything. Oil up $1.62. Bad news for us. That really stinks. I don't know why oil would be going up with a stock market that's weakening. It's counterintuitive. Let's jump over to the crypto market. A little bit better news for crypto today. Some of them. Bitcoin bounced back. 110,700. Almost. It was 111,500 at one point today. So Bitcoin rebounding a little bit. Ethereum holding its own. Don't freak out, control room. It's okay. Ethereum, these numbers are good. XRP, all of them. Crypto had a very solid influx of money going into crypto today. As stock markets weaken, money comes out and they look for alternative investments. That's why gold made a new high, and that's why Bitcoin is doing very well. It will trickle down to some of the other coins as well. All right. President Trump had a big announcement today. Let's take a look at what he said.
And I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City.
The beautiful locale of Huntsville, Alabama. Our own Chief White House correspondent Brian Glenn was there and joins us to discuss how the Trump administration moving Space Command from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama, which President Trump said we all know as Rocket City from now on. Brian, you were there. Interesting. I was hoping, again, we had been hearing that at some point Trump's going to make the announcement renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Didn't get that, did we, today? But talk to us about what we did here.
Yeah, that actually is what I was betting on, that it was about from the reports that I heard, Eric. So I was kind of going on the name change itself. But good afternoon, Eric. It was a very interesting moment before we got to that announcement, having a little bit of football talk with Coach T over there, and of course Katie Britt, Alabama, Coach T, coach of Auburn, and a little bit of college football interaction going on before the announcement. But they've moved Space Command back to Huntsville, Alabama, and they said they looked at several reasons why that move makes sense. It's not just because we're penalizing Colorado for the mail-in ballots, which President Trump talked a little bit about in that press conference, but really just the overall environment of Alabama and the feasibility, the location of Alabama. And it says it just makes sense to bring it back to Alabama, and also that will be kind of the ground hub, if you will, for the dome, the big beautiful dome that's financed or budgeted rather, in the big beautiful bill. So breaking news today. The Space Command is going back to Alabama.
So do you have any idea how much money I lost in the Alabama game over the weekend? I had so many people telling me, look at this, it's like it's Alabama's secondary. People don't understand how good the secondary is. I'm watching them get lit up and down the field. Had a rough Saturday, so to speak. So seeing the Alabama folks there, I love Tommy Tuberville, love the guy. I wish he was back coaching football again and maybe jump over from. He was was he? No, where was he? He was Auburn, right? He was at Auburn. He would love to see him at Alabama. Anyway, I digress.
This weekend too. They struggled early. They struggled early with Baylor, but they ended up beating Baylor at the end. So War Eagle for our camera guys that never.
War Eagle, of course. Brian, the other thing that came up in the briefing, which is really wild. I'm watching social media over the weekend. Trump he made a couple of announcements, I believe, on Wednesday. Hadn't been seen until maybe Friday, a quick brief look-see. And in the interim, or maybe it was on Saturday, he went golfing with his granddaughter. In the interim, folks lit up social media saying they thought he was dead. And I will tell you, it was trending on Twitter. J.D. Vance was trending on Twitter. Trump's dead trending on Twitter. Things like ridiculous things like "Please be true" was trending on Twitter. So Peter Doocy asked him. He seemed like he didn't think he had heard that, but then he kind of addressed having heard it. So tell us where we are on that.
Yeah, it was an interesting question, and I think it was something that we all noticed over the weekend, how absurd that question was, that it was even trending. Now, they had pictures, maybe a double box of his up-close facial features on him. They said, well, it doesn't really look that good. Well, look, I think what it is, Eric, is the media is so used to a President Trump that addresses them almost every day. So if he goes 2-3 days without being in front of a camera, people automatically assume, well, what's wrong with him? So Peter Doocy asking that question, President Trump, obviously you're not dead. I think that question maybe took him by surprise, but I did, however, think that he knew about people asking why he hasn't made any media appearances in 2 to 3 days. So maybe he didn't know to the extent that they were saying that he was, quote, dead, but we're all very fortunate that President Trump is not dead. But Eric, the other question that he asked, well, I think was probably one of the best questions of the day, to be honest with you, outside of the political news of Space Command going back to Alabama, was, is that image, is that video that we've seen online, is it real of someone throwing something out of the residence side of the White House? And I don't know if you're familiar with that video,
sure,
but it obviously shows a person throwing a couple objects out the window, and Trump was quickly to dismiss that as being AI, not real, fake video. It's something that we've learned to, come across on the internet. But Eric, it was kind of an interesting moment because he actually requested, let me see that video. And so Doocy went up there with his phone. They shared a moment looking at the video on his phone. But we can confirm that per President Trump, he is alive. And that video of someone throwing something out the window, that is fake.
Yeah, it's fake. And it was interesting because Trump had said he had heard something about, but then he's like, all the windows on the upstairs at the White House, they're locked out. You can't open those windows. And he made a very good point. He said AI is going to be so important, and we're spending literally hundreds of billions of dollars as a government, not only individually as in our corporate world, but as a government, hundreds of billions of dollars making sure we're the leader in AI, but it has such a downside right now where you don't know for sure. You're seeing things that you think look real, and they're just not. He put a couple of those rumors to rest. Very quickly, though, we all have seen the black and blue marks on his hands, and sometimes his ankles get swollen. This is I had an old father, I had an old mother. This is very common to people in their 80s. And the bruising tends to be blood thinners that you take as you get older. Make sure your heart isn't overtaxed, and sometimes that also causes circulation problems. So you've seen it, though. You don't see any loss of step, so to speak, have you?
Not at all. And you and I both have been with this gentleman for quite some time. He is happy. He is healthy. He looks good. His skin looks good. His eyes look good. He's sharp. He's articulate. He's witty. He even challenged one of the reporters on his question and made him go back and say, "Now, what part of that question did you not ask me?" Like, he's very sharp. So as far as health-wise, if we continue to hear stories out of the left talking about him having health issues, dismiss all of that. President Trump has got an A+ right now in the health department.
Yeah. I'm laughing because you were talking about how Trump dismissed this video as fake, and Drudge still has it on their upper left of Drudge. And Drudge, if you don't know Drudge used to be very, very conservative, like hard right conservative, MAGA, pro-MAGA, pro-Tea Party, then pro-MAGA.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way, they've gone from that to a Trump derangement website, which is really odd to me. It's worse than a leftist website giving him the business when someone like Drudge does as well. Matt Drudge, still part of that, I do believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, but that's one of the scary things about AI. And by the way, AI takes up about 4% of our energy usage right now. So any of these states that are getting big power plants for AI or big AI facilities, they're going to drain a lot of power, and they take a lot of water. So that's another resource question for another day, Eric. But I'm glad he asked that question because it was trending. But I'm glad to report from the White House
I want to get
that
this.
window, as far as we know.
I just remember something he said, and no one really has. I haven't seen anyone pick this. He said, and I'm going to try and quote this exactly. I think I wrote it down. We're going in regarding Chicago. We haven't said when, but we're going in. And there was a lot of speculation. Is this just, a threat? He made no bones about it. He's very clear. Feds are going into Chicago.
Yeah, no, they're going into Chicago, and just like a typical Trump, he's not going to tell you when he's going to do it. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, but he's going into Chicago, and he even cited getting several people, and he's got reports of African American people that live in the inner city are saying, please come to Chicago. I mean, look, you just rattled off some of the deaths that's happened, the shootings, the homicides. It's a horrible city when it comes to crime, and Trump knows this, and he wants to clean it up. I've been walking around D.C. ever since the National Guard was here. I feel a sense of safety now. I really do. You don't see some of the people just wandering around, aimlessly, kind of mental health issues. You don't see that here, and you certainly don't see the crime happening down in the Navy Yard, happening in Georgetown. You just don't see it like it was. So if you live in Chicago, guess what? Help is on the way. We just don't know when, but it's coming.
Yeah, they need it. I'm born and raised in Chicago. We call it Chirac now because it's devolved into a literal war zone. 50+ people, 58 people shot. I believe 9 have died now, just this past weekend alone, and just about every Labor Day, it's the same. So these guys, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is full of it when he says he's cleaning things up. He ain't cleaning anything up. Brian, final thought, anything on the calendar next couple of days out of Trump?
Yeah, we've actually got tomorrow. Well, 2 things real quickly. Across town on the steps of Capitol Hill, you have Thomas Massie, Ro Khanna will do kind of a press conference, if you will, to get the 218 signatures to do a discharge on the Epstein files from the Trump administration, trying to push for that. That happens tomorrow at 10:30. We'll have coverage from that. And then also here, right behind me, President of Poland arrives, and there'll be a bilateral meeting just after the 11 o'clock hour. We'll have that for you as well, Eric.
Great. Brian Glenn, everyone. Doing a great job. Appreciate your time.
Eric, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, folks. A new administration in Washington, D.C., well, they brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing the broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there's only so much any government can do, and that if we really want to make America healthy again, that starts at home with each and every one of us, and that's where the wellness company comes in. You see and hear from the wellness company doctors all the time on this network, and you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. A wellness company gives you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. Additionally, the wellness company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more that can help you stay healthy and live a longer and more satisfying life. Make America Healthy Again starts right here at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Go to www.twc.health/voice today and order. That's twc.health/voice. Use the promo code VOICE and save 10%. All right. You've seen the fire. You've seen what the Edge looks like. We saw the first sparks of the Edge, so to speak, with these trailers I keep putting out. Here's today's one last look at this trailer. We have a new one coming up tomorrow, but take a look. I started with nothing but my body and my mind, and I fought my way to the top of 4 arenas built to break men. First, pro baseball, where every pitch can end your dream. Then Wall Street, where I became one of the highest earning traders in America. Then came television, primetime lights, millions watching every night, a test. And I put it in writing. Wake Up America, followed by The Swamp, calling out corruption by name. But the Edge isn't politics. It's not about fame. It's about fire. It's about proving yourself when everything is on the line. Only the strong survive it. Only the ready rise through it. This is The Edge. September, The Edge is coming.